Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. We are joined by royalty in the form of Leanne Charles, who was recently crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2022. Miss Charles represented Pembroke, and we are looking forward to this conversation with her. Congrats, Miss Charles. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling quite fine.
Very glad to hear. No, I'm a village boy myself, Miss Charles, and it seems as though, even if I wanted to, I can't get away from almost like representing where I'm from, because there are people who will remind me that they know me when I snatty nose and in Pampers. But describe representing Pembroke, thank you. Is it a weight? Is it responsibility? Is it excitement?
It is all of those that you just mentioned. I wait because at the age of 9, I would have graced my first stage. But at the age of 5, I would have started dancing in my village. So persons know me as that little girl that would stand in the corner when those big women would be dancing. I would be in the little corner practicing my moves. Also, re-involvement of church. I am a church goer. So, of course, the weight was on me to do well. And, it was an amazing feeling when I became victorious.
I can well imagine. And I want to quote some of the lines or some of the words that you used in one of your performances during that competition. Pembroke woman. Tobago woman is wisdom, class, and grace. But I want to get even a little more specific, thank you. How did it feel to call your granny's name on stage during that performance?
Let's talk about the process of that talent. Every time I get to that point, I would break down. So it was like a whole, emotional roller coaster for me, because on the 28th of April, she passed, and she's a traditional dancer in the village of Pembroke, and she's now added to the ancestral lineage. It was very, it filled my heart so much knowing that I did this for her and I did this to honor her. It was somewhat of an excitement and a thrill, especially when I called her name and persons in the audience could connect to her and to knowing that she was a traditional dancer. And they also, my supporters, I'm telling you, they helped me kept it together.
Now you talking that and I'm feeling goosebumps along both arms, and I firmly believe that we sit at the feet of great ones to better stand on their shoulders. So when you're talking about even adding to that ancestral lineage, I feel that. But you also spoke about that process, the preparation. What was the most exciting part of the process getting ready for this occasion?
It was, let's go back again to the process. It was having my team. The most exciting part is having my team just rallying me, encouraging me. Sometimes it felt overwhelming and hectic because of the time period and the time span that we would have had to prepare. But the most exciting thing for me was knowing that I was doing it for Granny. That was my intention, and knowing that I had a team at the back of me, rallying me on. So I was the queen indeed, but my team allowed me to be focused. They allowed me to stay calm. And that for me is the most exciting thing because who doesn't, hard work is hard work, physically and mentally, and that's what it was. But having persons around me who would give me jokes, who would try to lift my spirits, that would have been the most exciting time for me.
But call some name now, because it's one thing to have support and say, yes, girl, we're rooting for you. But it's another thing to say, okay, well, these are some of the people that helped me prepare for the actual competition. So who are some of those people in your circle keeping your spirit light and carrying you forward?
I must give special thanks to Oshun Trim, my ever hard-working chaperone, Khalifa Hislop. I want to also thank Karen Berkeley Charles, my aunt. She's also a traditional dancer and a community icon. I want to thank my cousin Quentin Wilson. He is a drummer And in my talent, I actually played a bit of the drum. So I want to shout him out for having the patience to teach me. I want to also thank Darcel Kirk and Odette Jack. Those were the two persons who were, very instrumental in having my gong prepared and sit on me like a glove.
Drag your bow, Miss Fiddler. But they said the time frame was kind of hectic. What was that time frame like?
The time frame for us to get ready, obviously, for me, heritage period is a very busy period for me. Before, I would have been taking part in the opening night gala, and then to Pembroke Heritage, and then neighboring communities. I will lend my assistance because I am a dancer, I am an actor, and I sing as well. So for this year, I was engaged in the opening night gala. So you know what that meant. The opening night gala was on the 22nd, and then the Queen show on the 23rd. So you know the time span in me trying to rehearse for opening night and also trying to find time to rehearse for the Queen show was really hectic. The time span, let's say like about 3 weeks. It was we could roughly say 3 weeks, and in those 3 weeks would have been a tight schedule.
But I'm not frightened for you, Miss Charles, because you're a seasoned performer, you're a seasoned artist in terms of getting ready, the young girl in the corner since you're 5, first gracing the stage at
Yes.
9, and you're also a member of the Tobago Performing Arts Company. So does that
Yes,
add a little
please.
more validity to your work, or was it if you didn't win, Mr. Primer was watching you like,
Of course it did. Because at TPAC, it helped with my cultural development and it also helped with my creative development. And, of course, the weight was on my shoulder from my CEO and my directors and my supervisors. But yes, being in TPAC gave me that extra hump because it also prepared me for times like these under pressure. That's what we do. We work well under pressure. And, TPAC would have really contributed to that aspect in my development.
very glad to hear that because not everyone works that well under pressure. But before we have like about a minute and a half before we take the break. But what are some of those things that made you decide, okay, yes, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. Yes, I'm going to be part of this. How did you manage to make the decision?
Before, persons could recall every time they asked me to, represent Pembroke in this competition, I would say no. I would always say no. And I am a person, I like to do a lot of backhand work. So 2 years prior to this year, I was privileged to sit on the Queen Show committee. So now this year, I thrown myself in. And with a lot of encouragement for my friends, co-workers, and villagers, I thought that this year would see fit. This year would have seen fit because I wanted to honor my grandmother in the best way I know how, and I did just that.
That you did. We take a short break. We return. We're speaking with Ms. Tobago Heritage Personality 2022, Leanne Charles. Stay with us. We return with more. Welcome back. We are going in depth on a woman epitomizing grace, talent, and skill personified. Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2022, Leanne Charles. And Miss Charles, I like the fact that you said, yes, you did a lot of groundwork in terms of saying, okay, well, these are some of the elements, these are some of the things that they're looking for. What did it feel like when they're talking about the winner for this category and they call your name, the winner for that category and they call your name? And what were those categories?
Let's first start by saying I won the Miss Intelligence category, the Miss Talent, and the Best Gong Portrayal. I can't explain right now how that felt because on the night I was so shocked to have walked away with three of those special prizes. I mean, I did the work, I worked really hard, and my intentions were pure. And for that, I am grateful.
And speaking about those pure intentions, and we see you flanked by the rest of your sisters on that journey, what was it like, the interaction with the 6 other women who walked this road with you?
The interaction with these women were nothing but, excellent. They are beautiful women. They are kind-hearted. One thing I noticed with us is that we held each other's hand when times were rough. When one of us didn't show up to rehearsal, we'll call each other. We'll ask, "Are you okay? How are you doing? Do you need help? How much information do you need on this?" One thing, I am not a holder of information. The little knowledge that I have, I do share. And that is something that came out of, interacting with these young ladies. I could clearly state that most of them are, we still connect, we still message each other all the time, and that is what that was.
But you're saying the little knowledge that you have, Miss Charles. I want to push back on that because I think some individuals who may have one point of passion, one point of focus. It may be easier for them to say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do in the talent competition. How was it to say, okay, well, I wonder what I should do, boy? So you're speaking in it, you're dancing in it, you check out your family, so you drum a little bit. So how did you decide, okay, well, this is what I'm going with, this is how I'm going to represent Pembroke?
As I mentioned before, I wish to honor my grandmother. And the best way I know how to is to use the talents that she would have been a part of. After school, every afternoon in primary school or preschool, as that matter, because in secondary school we feel big. So we too old, for granny to come and say, "Come, let me see you go down low in the club room. Come, let me sing this song. Come, let me do the reel." And every evening when I was at home, she was like, "You had to dance, you had to know how to dance, you had to know how to do the reel." And an Ode to Pembroke was the title for my talent. And from the jump, I knew I wanted to honor the women who were responsible for the development, for and pave the way for persons in my community like Darcel Kirk, Karen Berkeley Charles, Diane Reed, Avril Jerry. We go back to Gillian Franklin, Tyrese Montano, Shaquille Jones. I wanted to make mention of those women who were very, very instrumental in our development culturally.
And what I appreciated is that looking at your performance, when you call that name, it's not as though that person was hiding their talents under a bushel. When you call the name and people respond, yes, like, talk the things, girl. But when we talk about Pembroke, what are some of those things that come to mind or spring to the fore of your brain one time to say, yes, when we talk about Pembroke, these are some of the things that we're talking about?
So we have this, and I would say proclaimed statement that we say Pembroke is the cultural capital of Tobago. And when you speak of culinary heritage in terms of dirt oven bread and roast pork and pone and tart, you speak of Pembroke. When you speak of the first female tambouriner and drummer in Tobago and in Pembroke, that is, you speak of Pembroke. When you speak of, the strength of a woman and you speak of the sauciness of the woman, you speak of Pembroke. You speak of the nation dances, you speak of Pembroke. You speak of, boasting that our only Anglican bishop, Claude Berkeley, he's my uncle as well. We speak of Pembroke. When we speak of Pembroke, we speak of those street theater that happens by the rum shop. All those oral traditions that would have formed just by the wayside, by the corner shop or the parlor, or by the little market on the road. You speak of Pembroke.
And you're saying that things, and I want to start to sing. I will not sing, but in terms of like, go down for me, oh Congo girl, go down for me. But even moving forward though, one of the things I like when you talk about the categories that you won, Miss Intelligence, portrayal, it feels this is not just a beauty competition. If someone says this is a beauty competition, what would you tell that person?
I would definitely tell that person it is not a beauty competition. It is more than just, in fact, a competition. It allows you it aids in your development. The competition, it have different programs and workshops to assist in women's development. For example, we went through a series of workshops where we had the First Citizens Financial Seminar, We also did the oral traditions workshop, and we also did the communications workshop. And as time goes by, the committee who is appointed will allow for different workshops. So it's not really just a competition, it aids in your development.
No, and thank you so much for that. And I want to qualify my statement. And you helped me with that, and I'm grateful that you did that with grace. It is more than just a beauty competition, because all of the contestants, yourself included, are quite beautiful. But also, so speak to the person who says that you see the potential in the same way that people would have asked you to represent Pembroke. Speak to the person that you see the potential in them to do well for this competition, but they may be thinking, this is not for me.
I would say to that person, go for it. Have the most confidence in going forward. I would say to that person, don't let anyone force you to do anything that you don't want to do. But at the end, look at it as a self development for you. Look at it as I'm doing it for self. I wish to better myself. And I think that, this competition is the one for me, because I said before, it's not just a competition. You will be equipped, I'm telling you. You will be equipped, and you will have a team of committee that will hold your hand in the process. You are not alone. And you even have me. I will make myself available as I give myself a service.
And with that in mind, and I'm glad you say that, you have any responsibilities coming out of the fact that you won the Mr. Tobago Heritage Personality 2022? What are some of the things that you'll be expected to do for this year, possibly promoting the competition or just aspects within it? What are some of those things that you're going to be doing that we can look out for you for?
So this year, the First Citizens Bank would have taken a different approach. Years gone by, they would have given the winner $25,000 in scholarship. This year, they are giving $25,000 for a village project, which is called the My Village Project. And My Village Project is called Project Saved, securing adolescent voices to engineer development. And I will try to, in my very utmost best, to activate that project. In this project, basically, is an empowerment hub that will allow for holistic development with persons in my community and neighboring communities. What we see coming out of this community is that yes, we boast of, we are cultural, but some of those social ills that plague us a lot. And there are persons which are very talented in my community, but they don't know who to go to, where to go. Sometimes we have these guys doing evening sweat, playing football, but how do they further their skill? There are persons in my community who is interested in being DJs, who do nails or hairdressing. How do they manage their finances? How do they, get further their skill? And coming out of this project, it will speak to just that. Other than that, you can catch me at the remaining Heritage Festival. I'm going to Lekito tonight for folk tales and superstition. So you will catch me going along with, the other remaining heritage festivals.
Mr. Tobago Heritage Personality 2022, Leanne Charles. Once again, congratulations, and thank you so much for spending the time with us. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, I'm Dike Rostant. This has been In Depth. Thank you for joining us.